Good morning, everyone. Let's get right into the stock market technical analysis charts. We're going to look at what's going on starting off this week. So just a couple things to touch base. If you guys are new, we do live streams every Saturday. I do it Saturday morning, 9:15 to 9:30-ish is about when I start. I usually go for about an hour, and that's Pacific time. And we typically go through all the subscriber picks that you guys want me to look at. So charts, I do analysis on the charts that you guys are interested in. So check that out. Join us on a Saturday. It's usually a pretty good session. And then also, guys, if you haven't checked out the stock market technical analysis course, I define all the key concepts that I cover in these videos. Again, it's helping you build a skill set that you can take with you for life to help you analyze your own charts and make your own trade ideas. So check that out. Link in the description below. I know several of you have checked it out so far, and I've gotten a lot of good positive feedback from it. So I think there's a lot of value there. Check that out. And then drop me a thumbs up if you guys are finding value. All right, enough of that. Let's get into the charts. Triple Qs. Okay. So tech sector today, a couple things I'm noticing. If you look at the hourly chart here, we've got this level. It's about 317. That's kind of your former support zone that we had. As I zoom out on the hourly chart, you can see I've got it kind of circled. It was support here, and then last week we were kind of battling with that level right in there. Today, or towards the end of the week, they sold it and broke that level. Today you can see they rallied it right up into that level for another test. So far we're failing and starting to sell down. So to me that looks like, just a rejection, and we're likely going to continue to sell down till, as far as I can tell, till we get to my target, 298. So I see, going to the daily chart here, you can see there's the target. It's about 298, 300. I've been talking about 300. The real target's about 298. But you can see today, run up, hit that just another morning test of that level. Wasn't able to recover it so far, and we're selling. It's selling off at that level. So that tells me that down we go, okay? Whether it's today, tomorrow, I don't know exactly when we'll go down. Maybe we just hold here and chop around for a little bit. But as long as we can hold under this former area, and I'll pop open, this is my trading platform. I've got it marked out right there on my trading platform. It's about 317.50, and you can see they basically rallied in, rejected, hit it again, rejected. So as long as we can hold below that, then we should continue lower during this week. We'll probably hit that target of 298 this week. Okay, so that's all I see. Now also, the other thing to note is we still have the bullish divergence on the Qs. So maybe what we're going to do is run down, hit our target, keep the bullish divergence intact, and that would set us up for a potential nice long trade down here. So that's what I think it's going to do. I think we'll probably try to keep those divergences. Now, if we burn through the divergences, then it tells me that if we hit the support, it's just going to be we'll probably have a minor bounce, and then we'll continue the bear market that I think that we're in. But if we hit this and we have the divergences, maybe that's good for a big, a nice rally. I don't think it's going to be a rally to all-time new highs, but maybe we have a pretty strong rally up to some key levels of resistance. So as of right now, in the short term, still looking for more downside. I think we're going to get it. IWM, small caps, this is the other one I'm interested in. Again, the key level of support was about 188. You can see today, let me go to the hourly just to kind of point it out. Look what they did. They rally it right up there, back test that level right there, and it's getting rejected so far. So as long as we stay below that 188 area, then that tells me that high probability that we're going to continue down to our target, which is about 173.50 down to about 170. I'm going to say it's about 170, and there's a potential gap to fill at 165. Maybe we'll briefly dip down and hit that. That's possible too. So looking for some pretty impulsive selling to start showing up. Keep an eye out for it. Again, small caps has the bullish divergence on both momentum indicators. So maybe we'll dip down, hit these profit targets, keep the bullish momentum, and then we get the bounce. Maybe not. Again, if we head down to our targets, what do these look? What do our momentum indicators look like at that point in time? Okay, that's going to give us a leading indication of where we go from here if we're down, if we're down at those support levels. Gold. Okay, so here's gold bullion again, continuing to go lower like I thought. So we got out of gold in the gold miners a couple weeks ago when we got that big strong sell signal. And again, I talked about how I thought gold was going to head down to this 1840 area. So far today, we're down at about 1856 is the low. Day's not over. I think we're going to probably get there today. So we might hit good support on gold and these gold miners today. All right, 1840-ish, right in there. Again, just to point out where I'm getting that support from, that's on the daily chart, and that comes back really from 2018. All these tags of support has really outlined the bull market or the bull trend, okay? So if we come down and hit that, it's just another tag of, major bull market support, and that's where you want to buy at, okay? So that's what I'm looking for. Looking at the hourly, on the hourly, we don't have bullish divergence really. So maybe, I think maybe we'll head down here, hit the support level, start to build some bullish divergence, and then we should rally. So that's what I'm expecting. Looking at some of these miners like GDXJ, again, it's just continued. This is what I thought it was going to do. I talked about this last week, how I thought it was likely going to keep dipping lower and continuing to build the bullish divergence. So we're hitting this support line again. I've kind of got another trend line I marked out in blue. We'll see. I think we should hold right here. Looking at the hourly chart, we've got bullish divergence. It's still intact. We need to see the buyers step in and hold so we can hold that bullish divergence. If you burn through the bullish divergence, then that tells me we're going quite a bit lower, and maybe we're going to head all the way down to the bottom of this channel here in GDX, and we just had a false breakout. That's possible. I don't see it yet, so I'm not. I've been stepping in and buying the GDX here with this bullish divergence at support. What I'm viewing this as is bigger picture. You've got a rally, big long correction over a year long, and finally a bullish breakout and coming in for a back test. This is an objective area to buy. That's how I'm viewing it as of right now. Now, until it proves me wrong and says, oh, this was a false breakout, and we're actually heading down here, until I see that in the charts, which I don't right now, then I'm viewing it as this is objective area to buy. We should hold in this area. It's going to chop around a little bit. It's got to throw some people off, shake out some stops, and then we rally. All right, that's what I'm looking for. And GDX this is the major miners. They got a little bit farther to go. So their trend line and support, you got the 200 sitting here at about 33.28, and then you've got the support on that trend line down here. So might head a little bit lower in the majors, while some of these juniors kind of just grind lower, but just kind of hold support while grinding a little bit lower and keeping those divergences. That's kind of what I think is going to happen. And so here's an objective long PAAS. In my opinion, you can see here we today hitting that trend line. So this daily chart here, this is your downward. This was former resistance. All right, resistance all through here. There's a tag of it. And then once we broke above, we held it as support right here. We're right back there testing it again. So that's objective today as a long. I did buy that position today. And looking at the hourly, you can see still have bullish divergence intact. We want to see this start to turn up and keep the bullish divergence. So you want to see price, kind of start to move higher, and you want to see the RSI start to turn up. All right, so price is moving lower right now while momentum still has bullish divergence, telling me that this is objective area to go long, and price will soon follow the upward momentum. Okay, so that looks like an objective long. Doesn't mean it has to be. No guarantees it's going to work, but we know where to stop out. We start breaking down, about this trend line, start breaking daily closes below, then we're wrong and we stop out and lose small. Here's oil and oil futures. You can see kind of just drifting sideways, setting up what looks to be kind of a secondary trend line. But again, I think we're going to break down and at least at a minimum hit the 200-day moving average right here. Okay, I think that's what's really priced into this chart as of right now. At least we've got support, good support at about 85 on the oil futures, and the 200's moving up. So I think we run down, hit both of those. That should hold as near-term support, probably an objective buying area. Looking at some of these oil shorts that we have, DVN. All right, looking at the daily, you can see we had this bear flag pattern. So here's the flag. We got the sell signal on DVN back here on the, and I've got it kind of circled, but the sell signal came on April 21st. We sold down, flagged out, and now we're continuing the bear flag. You can see today moving lower down almost 3%. Likely going to continue to sell down and hit our, the next target that I have on this is right about here at about 50.50, we'll call it. All right, you got some support right here, and it was support all through here and some resistance. So that's the next target. Looks like we're heading right down there. And then CNQ is the other one that I pointed out, bear flagging. And, as of right now, we're starting to break to the downside of this flag. The target on this is about 54.68. You also have an upward trend line, big, nice, solid upward trend line marked out here on the daily just below that. So we might dip below and hit that trend line. That's about, it depends on when you get there, but that's, 52-ish. So I think more downside, we're probably going to roll down and hit our targets on this. So looking good there. And some of these other short trades, UPS continuing lower today. We've got this support right here. So it's pretty much 177.20. A little bit of, there's some decent support there. The bear flag pattern, though, that we have right here is actually projecting us all the way down to about the next target, which is about 156, 65 or so. So I think that's where we're going to go. We'll see. We'll, see how we react right here. Maybe we slice right through it. And if we do, then that tells me, okay, we are heading down to that next target. This would be my final target on this one, most likely. There is a big gap to fill all the way down here at 125. I take that back. The final target would probably most likely be at 125.40, but expect a reaction at least a couple week reaction probably at this 156.30 area if we get there. More downside on that one though, and then UMP continuing lower, kind of just it's consolidating by this 200-day moving average. Should head lower. The targets on this one that I have, you've got some support right here at 229.22. We got to take that out first. They stepped in a little early back here on April 25th and bought it before it hit that. So we're probably going to at least hit that. And then I think we'll take it out. We take that out, we should head down to the target right now is about 215.50. All right, that's kind of my target on that one. I don't have much more of a target. It's probably going to go lower, but for now, we're just going to say that. And from the sell signal that we got back here on April 6th, even if you took it at the end of the day, it would be a move of about 11-12%. Okay, so that's the trade for this one, at least for right now. Yeah, there's probably some more downside. I can easily see us coming down to this final target, 196. I wouldn't look for much beyond that, to be honest. TSM, not much changed from yesterday or from Friday, but should start to sell down, okay? So if the market's going to continue lower, TSM should head down to our next target, which I don't see being until we get to about right there at 76.77. So that's the next target, and final target that I have on this one as of right now is down here at 60.57. So those are kind of two levels I'm watching. Should head lower. Tesla should go lower today. Just a little bounce this morning. Again, pretty common patterns for a bear market is to rally in the morning and sell off the rest of the day. So just look for that. Just look across the board, across the market. If you're seeing that kind of pattern where you're rallying in the morning, kind of sucking in the retail traders and the dip buyers, and then selling off throughout the rest of the day, and ultimately closing, giving up all the gains of the morning or closing lower, that's just a telltale sign of a bear market. All right, so we'll watch for that kind of stuff. Tesla, just no real change. We should head down to 780.50 as our next level of support. And then ultimately, I'm looking for a lot lower prices, but definitely down here to 555.50 area. Alcoa, this was a trade idea that we didn't get at the best entry because the best entry would be, a tag of resistance. But we did spot this bear flag. So see this big impulsive selling, then you consolidate it. And I talked about, okay, this looks like a telltale bear flag. You've got volume dropping off during this consolidation. And so the bear flag, let me go ahead and mark it out, is projecting us to head down to about this area. So you've got the 200-day. I'd probably just give it the benefit of the doubt and say, a tag of the 200-day is where we'll probably want to pull the short trade that I have. But that's down here at 58.50. So and it looks like it's just heading straight down 3.5% today. So another 10% to the downside before we hit the 200. So I like that for continued downside. Looking good so far. GameStop selling off a little bit today. Nothing crazy. So once the market, if the triple Qs is going to head down to that 300-ish, 298 price target, I expect the bottom's going to fall at a GameStop, and we're going to probably drop pretty quickly. So we'll likely going to hold. I think the selling will happen very quickly. Maybe you gap down and just flush out really quickly. It's going to be a big kind of bull trap move is what I'm looking for. So that's it. We're just waiting for that trap to get set. So more downside in this one is probable. Okay, let's look at bonds real quick. TLT, this is your long bond, but it's continuing to fall, which means your interest rates, mortgage rates, and just pretty much everything, car loans, credit cards, everything that is based on lending is continuing to rise. So that's going to put pressure. That should put pressure, continued pressure on tech. Tech is very interest rate sensitive, especially these large cap tech stocks. And the reason why we're seeing some of these large cap techs sell off is because over the last, really decade, they've been selling debt or corporate bonds at really low interest rates and then using the proceeds of that debt to buy back their shares. And that's propped up the stock price. As interest rates continue to rise, selling debt doesn't become as lucrative of a proposition to buy back your shares. So you'll probably start to see less and less of that. And that means less buybacks and just kind of removes a buyer or a bid from the market, which is why we're seeing some selling. Looking at the these FANG stocks, Apple below the 200-day. Now, Apple is at this kind of a major pivot point of support. So you need to see this go, and the market's not going to break down until Apple likely breaks right here. But looking at the daily chart, you can see here all these tags of support, this trend line right here that I've marked out on the daily. Okay, so we've got that, and as I zoom in, we're basically right there. There's another tag of it today. Okay, we need to see that break. If that, the break of that trend line is likely going to signal the breakdown in the markets. So watch that trend line for Apple. That's going to be key. And then the rest of these continue to sell off. You can see Amazon. That thing's pretty much smoked at this point. It's on the weekly chart. Just a huge sideways pattern. And we broke trend. And we're just breaking down. Heading down to about 2,000. And also Amazon, this is your 2008 bull market. So this is your bull market that I've got since 2008 in Amazon. And as I zoom in, you can see we're starting to break. That bull market's clearly been broken. So we're in a bear market in Amazon. From the all-time highs, Amazon is now down, 36? Well, it was down 36%. So it's in a bear market. So you'll get rallies along the way, but those rallies likely will be sold into. So, and I expect Apple to look similar to this here once we start breaking that trend line that I pointed out. KHC, so this has been a long trade, and we've been looking for a gap fill at 48, but today we're getting a sell signal and a break of trend. So if this holds throughout the day, then we've got a sell signal, which means we're not going to gap fill at least at least not before a pullback. So on the hourly chart here, we're walking up this trend line. If I zoom over to the daily, you can see it looks like this. Just kind of moving up this trend line here. Gap fills up here at 48, and we're breaking trend. All right, so looking at the hourly right here, breaking trend right there. So keep an eye on that. It's a possible sell signal here in KHC today. Okay, that's all I see for this morning. Kind of give you guys a read on the markets. Looking for lower prices in these tech stocks. Some of the gold miners and gold stocks are starting to bottom out and look like they're gonna hold support, and others still probably have some more downside. So we're gonna build a base, probably knock out a bottom here in the gold miners pretty soon. And that's it. And I pointed out those trade ideas that I'm really looking at. So drop me a thumbs up, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.